We got some undefeated teams, man.
Man, we should be on this list.
I, I feel you. Okay, we not doing. Stop that, girl. All right, we got the Texans. We got the Chiefs. We got the Bucks. Shouts out to our guy Ryan in the
Ryan,
building.
he been in the building. Yeah, shout out to the undefeated Bucks.
We got the Steelers. Fast Five in the building. Curtis in the building. We got the Bills. We got the Chargers. We got the Vikings, Saints, and the Seahawks. Any surprises?
Yes.
Or okay, let's talk. Who
Yes.
you who you surprised on this list?
So I'm gonna just say it, dog. It's like I know it's still early, but at minimum, there's 4 teams on this list that I'm surprised about.
Four? Okay.
4. The Chargers, surprise. To be
Mm-hmm.
undefeated right now, that's a surprise. The
I get it.
Saints,
Mm-hmm.
that's a surprise. The Vikings, that's a surprise because
Mm-hmm.
Sam Darnold. And they're gonna call me a hater, but dog, I'm surprised the Steelers are undefeated.
Why that? I was going through your list and I was like, okay, why are you surprised? First off, you think about the Chargers, who they played. They played the Raiders and the Panthers. Okay, we can. It's a first off, it's a coin toss.
Yeah,
So
the Raiders. I saw them beating the Panthers, but I thought with what we thought this offense would be,
mhm.
I'm like it's gonna be hard for them to win games.
Yeah. So of
So
course,
so that's
you
why
know,
that's why I was like one made sense possibly because it would be a close game to me. But I'm not like it's not the biggest surprise in the world, but I get what you're saying there.
like
The
I
re-
get it. Like I get it with the Vikings. Like I said, they beat the 49ers. That's a surprise. But the first game was the Giants, so that's a surprise. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, there's no need to be surprised about um, about the Steelers. Like I said, they beat Kirk Cousins when he couldn't move, and then they went and played the Broncos. Like I say, I'm
right.
not I'm
So
not minimizing their wins. I'm saying
no,
I'm
I'm
not
not.
surprised that they're 2-0.
So let me say, I thought Kirk Cousins might have looked better. That's all I'm like. I thought the Falcons offense would have looked better. But week 1 weirdness, man. Stuff always happens because Kirk came out and even though he don't look like, he can move or, anything like that, he did look a little bit better in that Eagles game.
Bro, he looked 180 degrees better.
And that's what and that's all I was saying. So to me, in my mind, I thought Kirk would look more closer to what he looked like in the Eagles game than he did when he played Pittsburgh. And so it
Okay,
was just like,
but
oh,
not,
and I thought, regardless of how Kirk looked, I thought with Zach Robinson, they would be able to move the ball, run the ball, and kind of, do some of the things that, Kirk does, and
I love you too, baby.
it doesn't require him getting out of his spot and stuff like that. Because I thought they would be able to put up points, even though we know how good the Steelers defense is. I thought that they would be able to put up points at a better rate than the Steelers could. And obviously, Chris Boswell.
Okay, but okay, based off okay, week it was week 2, right? Yeah, week 2 version of Kurt. Would that week 2 version of Kurt beat the week 1 version of the Steelers?
I think it would have.
I disagree, bro.
I can
Bro,
respect that.
cause look at the Eagles defense, dog. And I'm not even trying to diss them, bro. Like that defense is not gelling yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They're not gelling yet. I'm not about to sit here and just call them ass and disrespect them like that. There's no need for that. But they're not clicking yet.
For sure.
And it took a while during that game for Kurt to even look like something. And he didn't look like something until that final drive. You can still see that he's limited. He can't really put any oomph on the ball. You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. I don't think that version of Kurt, I don't think they was beating based off what we've seen from the Falcons and Kurt. I don't think they was beating the Steelers. I don't think they was beating the Steelers. You know what I'm saying?
I can respect that. For me, it was more so also not necessarily just Kirk though. I thought with Bijan, they would be able to kind of, really get him involved in the run and pass game to really give the Steelers defense hell and kind of like stretch them horizontally
Yeah.
to make things a little bit different, and that
Don't
didn't necessarily work because again, even that version of Kirk, I didn't know, like I didn't foresee Justin Fields outplaying him. You get what I'm saying?
don't get me wrong. That the week 2 version of Kurt would have gave them a better opportunity to beat the Steelers. And if they would have beat the Steelers, you wouldn't have been surprised. Like you wouldn't. It's a coin toss to be quite honest,
Yeah.
because that version would have gave them a better opportunity. But the way that their defense has been looking, both week, I'm not surprised at them being 2-0 at all. You know what I'm saying?
So I guess, and I guess maybe that's what I mean. Like I should rephrase that when I said it. Like the coin flip games, like I usually think one goes one way and one goes another. That's why I just feel like, yeah, you'd be, kind of like you split the difference in those games in a sense. So I guess undefeated maybe a little too strong, but I stand firm in this in the Saints and the Vikings being undefeated at this time.
Based off what we see, the thing about, and I get what you're saying about the Saints. This week is going to let you know about the Saints. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes like we ask the questions, and the questions can only get answered by once we see the results.
Yeah, because
And
we're working on a limited sample size here.
but even if the Saints lose, like if the Saints go out there and lose this week, it once again it's going to be how they lose.
Exactly.
If they go out there and look bad, and all of a sudden they look fluky, ain't nothing working. It's like, all right, hold on, bro. Maybe these first 2 weeks was just clunky. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But if it's a tough game, a back and forth game, and the Eagles, show up and you know deliver, it's like, all right, bro. Saints is all right. The Saints is a good team. They just lost.
Yeah.
You know. But they went through. They went through. They did some things. Of course, like you say, everybody said week 1 was, hey man, you played the Panthers. All right, you played the Panthers, but it's also a divisional game,
Yeah.
similar to the Chargers and the
And the
Raiders. It's
Raiders,
like,
yeah.
okay, anything can happen because it's a divisional game. But you beat the brakes off. You beat the brakes off the Panthers. Okay, cool. You come out there, you dominated the Cowboys. Okay, cool.
The
You
fashion
dominate.
that it happened. Yeah.
Are you real? Are you real, or are the Cowboys not real? Yet to be determined.
Yeah.
That's yet to be determined, because they could be real. They could be emphatically real, or Cowboys are just frauds.
Where do you stand on the Saints? Just if you had to just like right now, someone said, are the Saints contenders or pretenders? Where do you stand on them?
As of as of right now, I believe yes, they are contenders. As of right now, because I think they have a game plan. They have a style that's translatable. Like they have a defense that can go up against probably anybody in the NFC. They have an offensive system that can go up with anybody in the NFC right now. Like I say, Kamara, Alvin Kamara looks like CMC
Yeah.
in a system that CMC is in. You know what I'm saying? They haven't even had, like, Chris Olave haven't even showed up yet. To
Yeah.
be quite honest,
He
he
hasn't
had a
really
he had,
gotten involved.
he had a good
Like,
game last week.
yeah,
He had a good game.
but not for where you drafted him at and what you drafted him to be.
So that could still happen. Like you say, there's the running game is there, and like you said, they're protecting Derek Carr. And if you can protect Derek Carr, he will protect the ball. You know what I'm
Looking
saying?
like
He,
2016.
you feel what I'm saying? So they can definitely go anywhere. They can remind you of the Lions last year.
Yeah.
Be
Okay. I
quite
can see
honest.
that. I can see that. So Kirk better
That
get his shit together because hey,
Nah, it's over.
it's tough and it's about to be tough in that division, especially with the
It,
Buccaneers playing good too.
that's the surprise,
You think the Buccaneers are a surprise?
and it's not a disrespectful surprise. But I was surprised that they beat the Lions the way that they beat the Lions.
So I wasn't necessarily surprised that they beat the Lions the way that they did, just because they did so much to work on that secondary. There was some work, like you can tell that they have the potential, but it's still some work that's necessary. And what did we say? Who can you get as a secondary rusher, outside of Aiden Hutchinson? Aiden Hutchinson was out there bro, he had an Adrian Claiborne game, and it you just could like there was like, and it didn't necessarily like, I won't say it didn't matter, but
You can say it didn't matter
it did not flip the script because he like it's just him. It's just him. So if no one else out there can, like collapse it and get clean up some of those other things that he's doing that he doesn't get home, it didn't stop it. And it didn't stop Baker Mayfield from getting Chris Olave 600 yards.
Chris Godwin.
Chris Olave, Chris Godwin. Yes.
But if that the game Aiden Hutchinson had was supposed to dominate this game. Like
yeah, 100%.
This not dominate. It's supposed to wreck the game.
It's supposed to wreck it, but right here, what Curtis said, the DBs are the Lions' weakness. That's a sad part because if you have
that performance,
I would say if you got 95% of teams have that edge rusher performance, a lot of times they win. But your DBs kind of were so like they were so outmatched. It felt like it didn't necessarily matter. And Terry, I believe in Terry Arnold. I believe he's going to be a really good player. Mm-hmm. But he was in hell. He was in hell.
I mean, at the end of the day, like not at the end of the day, but your defensive coordinator is a former cornerback, former DB. Like this,
right?
They not supposed to look this bad. Like I don't. They're not supposed to look this bad, bro. Like,
right. But what I will say, I'm gonna shoot Aaron Glenn some bail because I think as the season is going to move forward, you're gonna start seeing some of those, those changes and stuff like that because you do have, some communication that you got to work through, some growth that you got to work through. Didn't they bring in another safety next to Brian Branch?
I believe so. I can't think of his name right now.
And so, trust me, I know what bad safety communication looks like.
you
know what I'm saying? So I've seen it, and so
stop playing with me, bro.
And so it can definitely change how things work. And sometimes it becomes a top down thing where it's like now your corners are playing on the island, your linebackers are kind of just trying to make plays that they necessarily shouldn't be because corners are letting guys run free because stuff like that, blown coverages, all of that. So I think the communication will get better as the season goes, but to me it's not necessarily a surprise because it wasn't like the Buccaneers weren't competitive last year. You know what I mean?
And that's my thing. Like we did, I'm sorry to cut you off, but we had everybody was talking about the NFC South so trash, right?
Yeah, and then I said the Falcons like it was like they was just supposed to win it. Yeah.
But with some other teams having some ailments.
Yeah.
And this early start that these teams had already took, like the Bucs and the Saints is going off. Some of these teams going, all right, you try to play in catch-up mode and they already here. I know it's early. Things do happen. Things will change.
But absolutely.
We will see. But like I said, it's good for them to have this early start. Like it's specifically the Bucs and the Saints, because like you say, what's going on with Jordan Love knee? Yeah, y'all happened to win last week and survive one of his games that he missed.
They said that boy, if that boy played this week, that's crazy. Because yeah, like I don't like I said, when I saw it, I'm like, man, this might be one of the ones that ended all.
Yeah.
And so that's why it was crazy because.
But the same thing though. Like I said, the Rams and everybody's getting injured by the Rams. Like I said, some of these teams, Cowboys and Eagles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Cowboys and Eagles, y'all might be fighting for the division, but one of y'all might want to get this, y'all keep tripping. Y'all might need this wild card spot.
Shoot, the way our defensive line getting injured. Every single body on the defense, like in the defensive interior has gotten hurt. We had to go out and sign somebody. Already it's gotten that bad. So it's
that's specifically I was staying on the NFC, but let's recap our teams before we get to our picks.